Hard to believe, but residential elevators are in many newer homes. They're not just for the rich. With an aging population and houses built up, not out, elevators are becoming more common. But that convenience comes at a dangerous risk for children. The I-Team's Dana Fowle continues her exclusive look at the lack of safety features. Dana, your story has prompted the state to take action, right?
Absolutely. Listen, what we uncovered was so alarming, the insurance commissioner said he wants to do something. Commissioner Ralph Hudgens said, what happened to toddler Jacob Helvey? Well, it shouldn't happen to another child. This is the greatest Christmas gift you could offer this family.
Good, because, you know, we don't need that to happen but once.
The Helveys had a residential elevator installed for an elderly live-in relative who couldn't manage the stairs. They loved it until Christmas Eve 4 years ago.
Say bye, Jake.
Jacob Helvey's days started with playing, thinking of Santa, but it ended with brain damage after he was crushed by the family's home elevator.
He was down here watching his cartoons, playing with his cars on the fireplace. I had all the gates up, the doors locked.
Brandy Helvey darted upstairs, but in that short time, Jacob opened the elevator's hallway door and got in. But he never opened the cab's accordion gate, so this left him trapped between the two doors. This hard-to-watch animation by the Helveys' attorneys shows how they believe this toddler was crushed once the elevator started moving. Brandy remembers her son's wails.
And I knew it in my heart that it was elevator related just because of the commotion.
She ran downstairs, pulled open the locked elevator door in the hallway to find her toddler trapped.
He was facing the foyer and the elevator was on his back. So pretty much he was trapped from head down.
His torso was between the cab and the threshold of the floor.
They said they assumed, like a commercial elevator, it wouldn't move if there was a problem.
Of course, my heart went out to the family. It was such a tragedy.
And Insurance Commissioner Ralph Hudgens plans to get a message to families with home elevators.
We're going to send a letter, a personal letter from me to each of these homeowners,
alerting them to the potential danger.
And we're going to ask them to go to your link and view this story that you have on your website regarding the safety of elevators.
Meantime, the state's residential elevator committee plans to strategize about how to keep children out of that space between the two doors.
Well, I'm going to ask them to look in to what kind of remedy we can look at.
At the top of the list for critics is the gap between the hallway and accordion doors. It's wider than most safety codes designed with children in mind, like the ones for stair spindles and crib slats.
And there's a reason for that, because if you can if it's 4 inches or less, you keep all kids out of all their heads out of that space. They can't get in it.
The national standard for residential elevators is 5 inches. But look at this. That accordion door spreads open to allow even older children to fit inside. An 8-year-old boy in New England slid into a similarly sized gap and was killed. The American Society of Mechanical Engineers sets the standard for this space, and according to an engineer formerly with the group, the nonprofit organization talked for years about closing that gap, but still hasn't.
They've had years to deal with this issue and have had multiple suggestions from elevator experts on how to fix it, and they haven't done it.
The I-Team has repeatedly asked the association to talk about why its group, filled with industry insiders, maintains the 5-inch gap. We're repeatedly told, no comment. Meantime, the Helveys had a space guard made cheaply to attach to the hallway door so that no one, much less a child, can fit into the space.
Do you want apple juice or water?
In their past are memories of a full-of-life child. Today, they tend to Jacob at home round the clock. In their future, they'd like to see the residential elevator industry do more to prevent child entrapment.
We thought we'd done everything to keep him safe. This is something that, it's not something you're going to envision happening, but it did. And that's one of the reasons why we're here talking with you.
The company that sold the Helveys elevator to them calls this simply a tragic accident, not faulty design. Still, the company ultimately settled a lawsuit with the Helveys. But this issue has now captured the attention of the Consumer Product Safety Commission, which has launched its own investigation. In the meantime, the commission is warning parents to be aware that residential elevators can be a very serious hazard.
That animation is so tough to watch.
It is hard to watch.
Did the 5-inch gap work at one time, or is the construction of the elevator itself changed?
Well, you know, according to the Helveys attorney, that gap between the doors actually grew, got wider in the 80s. They tell me it used to only be 4 inches. Why? We don't know yet. The American Society of Mechanical Engineers won't talk about it one way or another. They set the rules by which we all have to live, but they refuse to speak about it in any way.
Wow.
We're going to continue to follow it.
I know you will, Dana. Thanks a lot.